When 30-year-old teacher Pamela discovered she was pregnant, she was overjoyed. She had always dreamed of becoming a mother, and now her chance had finally arrived. However, during a routine scan, doctors uncovered something so shocking that they had never encountered anything like it before. As a dedicated teacher, Pamela had always prioritized her career. Growing up in a working-class family in northern England, she developed an exceptional work ethic that set her apart. While the news of her pregnancy was thrilling, she saw no reason to slow down just yet. There was always work to be done. As a cautious first-time mother, Pamela attended multiple early scans to ensure her baby's health during its initial stages of development. Everything appeared normal, and doctors reassured her that there was nothing to worry about. Little did she know, something extraordinarily rare and shocking was unfolding inside her body at that very moment. Despite her pregnancy, Pamela's workaholic nature kept her dedicated to her job. She was so committed to educating young children that she began missing several important scans. However, attending all scheduled scans during pregnancy is essential for monitoring both the mother's and baby's health. Not only do they allow you to see some key milestones and form a kind of bond with the baby before it's even born, but they also allow medical professionals to check on the progress of your baby. More importantly, if there's anything to be concerned about, I thought it'd be fine, Pamela remembered. I'd read all the pregnancy books. I was growing at a normal rate. I had aches and pains, but all pregnant women do, so I thought I might as well just keep busy with my work. This could have turned out to be one of the most dangerous and life-threatening decisions that she could have ever made, though. But was it too late for Pamela and her unborn baby? It remained to be seen. It wasn't until Pamela's line manager and the school head teacher basically forced her out at the door that she even considered taking time off her maternity leave. At 39 weeks pregnant, she couldn't focus properly on educating children. The management staff thought it was best to allow her to take time off and focus on her and the baby. Contrary to what they thought, though, Pamela still felt fit and healthy enough to work, and always believed that she would end up working right up to her due date. Still, she had her orders and was forced to go home. As she had a little more time on her hands, Pamela started to think. Questions started popping into her head. Should she have gone through those scans? Was everything okay? Was her baby safe and all right? These were all questions that she should have been asking herself months ago, but hindsight is 20/20ths, and it was too late to go back and change anything now. She just crossed her fingers that everything was going according to plan and that both she and her baby were well. As she hit the 41-week mark of her pregnancy, Pamela finally found the time to go for a scan. After all, she couldn't keep living like at 1,000 miles per hour. She needed to take her foot off the pedal, slow down, and start to relax and unwind for the sake of her unborn baby. Besides, it's better late than never, right? Pamela had read that less than 8% of pregnancies go wrong or have any complications, so surely the odds were in our favor. Surely there was nothing that could go wrong, could it? Entering the scanning room, she climbed on the table and lifted her top to reveal her bulging stomach. The doctors got to work scanning, but as he was doing so, his eyes went wide and his complexion turned pale. Pamela asked what was the matter, but the doctor made a quiet, feeble excuse and quickly left the room, returning several moments later with a couple of his colleagues. Once again, scanning Pamela's belly, the doctors murmured and looked on in shock, some excited, others concerned. This started to fill Pamela with a sense of dread and panic. They weren't telling her anything. They weren't giving her any information. What had they actually seen? Was her baby all right? Was she all right? Finally, the original doctor told her to clean herself up and visit him in his office. He clearly had some big, shocking news for her. A lot of pregnancies go really smoothly, and there are no issues along the way, one midwife explained. But there are inherent risks to having a child, and it's never completely a walk in the park. It's a definite trauma for the body, but what Pamela was experiencing was something that had very rarely been seen before. Pamela quickly dried herself off and straightened her clothes before rushing to the doctor's office. Her body was shaking and her mind was racing at the possibilities. Was the baby okay? Or was this one of the 8% of pregnancies that go wrong? Sitting in front of the doctor, he started to speak, telling her that the baby seemed to be developing correctly, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. Pamela's heart was beating at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and her stomach dropped. Babies usually grow in their mother's uterus. This is where they can get all the vital blood and nutrients that they need to stay strong and healthy. It is all part of the growing and developing process. However, Pamela's baby was growing not in her uterus, but in her abdomen. How it ended up there was anyone's guess, and not something they needed to be concerned with at that moment. You see, they had more pressing and potentially life-threatening matters to deal with. As the baby was developing outside the uterus, doctors were unsure if she had received the correct amounts of nutrients and blood to help her develop in a healthy way. They recommended that a C-section be carried out as soon as possible. After all, the baby was a healthy size and was seemingly strong enough to battle any complications that may arise, so they rolled the dice, took a chance, and rushed Pamela down to the operating theater to deliver her baby. But would the poor child make it? There was only one way to find out. It was a tense time, with doctors not entirely sure what they'd see when they opened Pamela up via cesarean section. They made a plan and were especially careful when making the surgical slit in Pamela's abdomen. There was a chance that the baby was underdeveloped, either physically or mentally. There was also a chance that in growing in Pamela's abdomen, Pamela could have suffered fatal injuries, and removing the baby could spell disaster for her. But what was revealed when they opened her up was an absolute miracle. A fully formed, healthy baby girl. How she had grown so perfectly and without any disabilities or complications was completely beyond the doctors at the time. Even more astonishing, Pamela remained completely unharmed, despite the baby growing in her abdomen. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I know my colleagues felt the same, said one doctor who witnessed the birth. Babies don't develop outside the uterus. It's not their natural environment, and so much can go wrong. Seeing this little girl not only survive, but thrive was truly mind-boggling. The fact that both mother and baby were in excellent health made this an incredibly rare, almost 1 in a billion event. With no complications, they spent just one night in the hospital before being discharged. The baby, now named Angela, meaning the victorious one in Latin, was born at a healthy weight, fully developed, and, astonishingly, perfectly ordinary in every way. It was nothing short of a miracle. Despite the baby growing in her abdomen, Pamela experienced no side effects. It was a wild ride, she recalled of the rushed birth, but the doctors did what they had to do, and I have no regrets. Now I have my beautiful little girl, and I wouldn't change my awkward little madam for the world. And so, against all odds, Pamela's baby grew outside the uterus, an extraordinary and rare case. I'm really keen to know your thoughts on this story, so please don't hesitate to share your insights in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and found it engaging, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more similar content. Feel free to share this video. Take good care of yourselves, and I'm excited to connect with you in our future videos.